Okay, so I put a poll out not too long ago, and apparently a lot of people really want me to talk about Sarada's potential Mangekyo abilities. Obviously, she doesn't have the Mangekyou Sharingan yet, but we know she's gonna definitely get it sooner or later, as with every prominent Uchiha in the franchise. So let's kind of cover what we think is gonna happen to Sarada once she gets hers, right? First of all, I'm kind of assuming that by the time of the time skip, she's probably gonna have a 3-tomo Sharingan already, and I'm assuming she's probably gonna awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan in an extreme point in distress, much like the other ones. I think this could potentially happen when Sasuke dies. Again, this is not confirmed or anything, this is just me kind of making my own speculations on how this could happen, because it is foreshadowed that Naruto is probably going to die in the dialogue that we see between Kawaki and Naruto in the beginning of the franchise, when we see that they're teens or adults, and they're kind of discussing, and it seems like Kawaki is going to send Boruto where he sent the 7th, implying that he killed Naruto, and if this is the case, I don't see Sasuke living too far afterwards, as they're always together, you know what I mean, they're always fighting together. They lost against Jigen, and they won against Momoshiki together, you know what I mean? So I think if one dies, I don't see the other one living for too long afterwards. So if Sasuke, this is a big strong if he dies, I think this is what's going to be the turning point in causing Sarada to awaken her Mangekyo Sharingan. Much like pretty much every Mangekyo Sharingan we've seen so far, we know that it's going to have a unique pinwheel shape, so we can't really predict that, but we could try to predict some of her Mangekyo abilities based on the previous Mangekyo abilities. For example, we know that Obito, in both eyes, he had Kamui, but for different reasons, right? He had 2 different variations of Kamui in both eyes. We know that Shisui had presumably two variations of Korowa Matsukami in both eyes. We know he had Korowa Matsukami in both eyes, but you can make some speculations that he had 2 different versions of them based on how they were used in the franchise. But that's a whole video in and of itself. We know that Itachi had Tsukiyomi and Amaterasu. You know that Sasuke had Amaterasu and I think it was Kagutsuchi, which allows him to control the flames. And we also know that pretty much every Uchiha who has awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan has the ability to awaken a Susanoo with a unique color. Also, something worthy to mention is that Shin Uchiha, which is not really an Uchiha, I guess, but he could telekinetically manipulate objects after first branding them with a special mark that he places by direct contact with his hand. Those are the possible Mangekyo abilities according to the previous ones we've seen before. But before I jump into exactly what I think Sarada is going to have, let's just kind of talk about the Susanoo. We know that she's going to get a Susanoo because every prominent Uchiha has a Susanoo. Even Shisui, he had a non-canon green one. And we've seen blue, orange, green, purple Susanoos, which cover 4 out of the 6 primary colors, primary and secondary colors. So I would assume that her color would be red or yellow, maybe even pink, because that's kind of heavily associated with her mother. And although we do see some repetitions, we see 2 blue Susanoos, you know, Kakashi's and Madara's, and we do see 2 purples. We see Indra and Sasuke. You could assume that the Sasuke has a purple one because he's Indra's reincarnation, but that's not really true because Madara was also Indra's reincarnation at that point in time, and he did not have a purple one either. So again, I would assume it would probably be red, yellow, or pink for Sarada's Susanoo. In regards to exactly what her abilities would be, I would probably assume that she would have a Genjutsu ability. Like, Genjutsu is not very prominent in the Boruto anime. That's kind of like what they're missing, you know what I mean? They're missing that genjutsu component that was very prominent in Shippuden and part 1 of Naruto. We used to see a lot of Jonins and a lot of people use genjutsu. We don't really see that anymore. But yeah, I think she'll have her own unique genjutsu ability, very similar to Korowa Matsukami or Tsukuyomi. And on top of that, I think she's gonna have another more physical, more ninjutsu based Mangekyo ability, which I don't think it's gonna be one that we've seen before. This one's probably going to be more unique to her, something that the authors can kind of, you know, elaborate on and kind of make her own character. Very similar to how Boruto has his Jogon, which is kind of a mystery and hasn't been explained too much. I have a video on that if you guys want to go check it out. I think Sarada's going to have something very similar and something that might be able to help her keep up with Boruto and Kawaki later on in the show. Again, two different abilities in each eye. She's definitely going to have a Susanoo, but it's more of a speculation video, and again, when we do see this, it's probably going to be much later in the show. But anyways, if you guys like more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.